Hello, class. So this is section 2.1 on your graded homework. So what we're going to do, I'm going to work through these problems. And this is just one possible scenario. Everyone gets different problems. So these will be very similar, but they won't be exactly the same as the ones on your specific graded homework. So, and as always, ask questions. I'm here to help, but you got to ask the questions. So let's work through these and we'll talk about them. Then I'll work them out over here on the right and we'll put in the answers as we go. All right, so question one, it says plot the points. So remember when you're plotting points, we use the XY coordinate axis. So the X-axis is horizontal, the Y-axis is vertical. So this first point, 0, 5, X is equal to 0, Y is equal to 5. So X is 0, Y is 5. That puts the point right there. Second point, -5, 0. So X is -5, Y is 0. Next point, -1, -3. So X is -1, Y is -3. And then 2, -5. So X is 2, Y is -5. There we go. All right, question number 2. Find the coordinates. So this time we're going backwards. So here's the point. So the point's right there. So the X value is 2. The Y value is -1. So you just got to type it in. So 2, -1. All right, so question 3. Now we got a little bit of work to do. It says complete the table for the equation 3x minus 4y equals -12. So the table gives us y equals 0. We got to solve for x. So I'm going to come over here on the right-hand side and work out the equations here. So here we go. So pardon my handwriting. So this is 3x minus 4y equals -12. All right. So we're given y equals 0. So we make our substitutions. So 3x minus 4 times 0 equals -12. 4 times 0 is 0. So I get 3x equals -12. Divide both sides by 3. So we get x equals -4. So over here, we get x equals -4. And we do it again. So now we let y equals 0, or x equals 0, sorry. And now we solve it for y. So we got 3 times 0 minus 4y equals -12. So 3 times 0 is 0. So minus 4y equals -12. Divides both sides by -4. So we get y equals a +3. All right. So now plot the 2 points you found in the table. So it's easy to forget and not do the second part. So x is -4 and y is 0. So essentially we found the x-intercept. The second point is 0, 3. We found the y-intercept. All right, question 4 says sketch a graph. So on these questions, to sketch a graph, you have to plot 2 points and you have to use the line tool. Now, in this system, the points you plot have to be integer numbers. In other words, 1, 2, 3, -1, -2. No fractions are allowed. So we got a little bit of work to do over here. So I'm going to scroll down to the next page here. So I'm going to put our graph, our equation over here. So our equation is 5x minus y equals 1. All right. So first of all, let's let x equal 0. It's usually a good one to do. So let x equal 0. Now, why did I do that? Well, because it makes it easy. How about that? So 5 times 0 minus y equals 1. 5 times 0 is 0. So minus y equals 1. So y, that was ugly. Y equals -1. So there's my first point. My first point is 0, -1. Now to find my second point, we have to do a little bit more work here. So let's think about this. So I need to have integers. So I'm going to choose x equals what? 1? Let's choose that. If I choose x equals 1, I get 5 times 1 minus y equals 1. So this is 5 minus y equals 1. Subtract the 5 from both sides. So minus y equals minus 4. So y equals 4. So my point is 1, 4. So there's my 2 points. So I'm going to come back over here to my graph, click on the draw tool for the line, and then plot my 2 points. So 0, -1, and then 1, 4. Put it right on there. And there we go. All right, so the key point here is you couldn't have chosen, x equals a half. All right, they have to be integer numbers. All right, question 5. Find the x and y intercepts. So this one here, I'm going to come down next page on my Word document. So to find the x and y intercepts, so let's find the x-intercept first. So I'm going to write our equation down. So our equation is 7x minus 3y equals -84. All right, so to find the x-intercept, right, you let y equal 0 and solve for x. So in this case here, so if I let y equal 0, I get 7x minus 3 times 0 equals -84. So I get 7x equals -84. Divide both sides by 7. I get x equals -12. So my x-intercept is -12, 0. All right, to find the y-intercept, we let x equal 0 and solve for y. So in this case here, so it'll be 7 times 0 minus 3y equals -84. 7 times 0 is 0, so I get -3y equals -84. Divides both sides by 3, so I got my handy dandy calculator. So -84 divided by -3, I get 28. Use your calculator. Your calculator is your friend. So x equals 0 and 28. So there's my y-intercept. So now I'll come back over here and enter my information. Just be careful you put the right numbers in. All right, so the x-intercept was -12, 0. The y-intercept was 0, 28. All right, question 6. So this is basically the same question, except now we're putting it in a table and then plotting the points again. So let's work this out. So I'm going to come over here with it. I'm going to draw a little line. So our equation is x minus 2y equals -2. So first point, y equals 0. So I get x minus 2 times 0 equals -2. So x equals -2. I'm going to go ahead and write that in so I don't get confused. All right. Then our second point, we let x equal 0. So I get 0 minus 2y equals -2. -2y equals -2. Divide both sides by -2. I get y equals 1. And again, if you have any questions, please ask. Shoot me an email, send me a message through Canvas. You can always use the message instructor button here in the graded homework. So now we got to plot these 2 points. So -2, 0. So -2, 0 right there. And then 0, 1. And we're just plotting the points. We're not graphing a line. All right, question 7. Same type of idea here, except now this one like we similarly did in the past. So I'm going to have our equation, which is -2x minus 5y equals 30. So we want to find the x and y intercepts again. So to find the x-intercept, you let y equal 0 and solve for x. So -2x minus 5 times 0 equals 30. 5 times 0 is 0, so -2x is equal to 30. Divide by the -2. x equals negative 15. So I get my x-intercept, negative 15, comma 0. Now to find the y-intercept, you let x equal 0 and solve for y, the exact opposite. So I get negative 2 times 0 minus 5y equals 30. 2 times 0 is 0, so I get negative 5y equals 30. Divide by the negative 5, I get y equals, what is that, negative 6? So 0, comma, negative 6. And let's come over here and put them in. So my x-intercept, negative 15. Y-intercept, negative 6. All right, so now we got one a little bit more exciting here. So the distance between the 2 points. So remember, right? So I'm going to draw a little line over here to separate this. So our distance formula, right? So given 2 points, x1, y1, and x2, y2, the distance between them, right? D is the square root. So this is a big ugly formula, right? x2 minus x1 squared, right? Plus y2 minus y1 squared. So for our points here, so our 2 points are 0, 2, and 2, negative 4. So my distance between them, so it's the square root. Now it doesn't matter which point you choose, x2 and y2, just so you're consistent. So 2 minus 0 squared plus negative 4 minus 2 squared. So I get the square root of 2 minus 0 is 2. So 2 squared plus negative 4 minus 2, which is minus 6 squared. So I get the square root of 4 plus 36, which is the square root of 40. Now, notice it says simplify any radicals. Remember, square root of 40 is equal to the square root of 4 times 10, which is square root of 4 times the square root of 10, which is 2 times the square root of 10. So if you have any questions on that, remember, you got to break this apart into a perfect square. Then you can bust apart the square root. So 2 square roots of 10. So 2 square root 10. And notice that the square root symbol came up when you clicked in the answer. All right. Question 9. This is a good one here. All right. Got a little bit of work to do. So it says, small craft in Lake Ontario sends out a distress signal. Coordinates of the boat in trouble are 12, negative 13. So this is based on a standard XY coordinate system. The Coast Guard's Moonlight 2 rescue boat is at the following coordinates, negative 20, 7. And the other boat is at coordinate 15, negative 1. Which boat is closer? So by first of all, looking at this problem, and I read through it and I see which boat is closer to me, that indicates a distance problem. So I need to calculate the distance between the craft and Moonlight 2 and the craft and Moonlight 4. And then I can tell which one is closer. So I got a little bit of work to do here. So let's go ahead and get our points down. So the first distance is between 12, negative 13 and negative 20, 7. So I'm going to call this D1. So this was for Moonlight 2. I'll call it D2. There we go. All right, so by distance, it's the square root. So negative 20 minus 12 squared plus 7 minus a minus 13 squared. Be careful on that minus, the double negative there. So I get the square root of negative 32 squared plus 7 plus 13, which is 20 squared. All right, so handy dandy calculator. So 32 squared plus 20 squared. So that's the square root And please use your calculators. 1424, which is approximately, so I'm going to go ahead and do the calculation on this. So second square root, approximately 37.74. Oop. All right. So my other distance between, I think I can. Yeah, there we go. Okay, sorry about that. So my other 2 points are the 12, negative 13. And my other point is 15, comma, negative 1. So we're going to do the same thing. So we'll call this distance D4 for the other boat. So 15 minus 12 squared plus negative 1 minus a negative 13 squared. Again, be careful with the double negative. So this would be 3 squared plus negative 1 plus 13, which is 12 squared. So 3 squared is 9. 12 squared is 144. So I get the square root of 153. Which is approximately, so 12.37. So which one is closer? Well, this one is definitely less than this. So the distance to Moonlight 4 is definitely closer. All right, question 10. I'm going to scroll down here to the next page. Says find the midpoint. All right, so remember our rules for midpoint, given 2 points, right? Again, x1 comma y1 and x2 comma y2. The midpoint is the point that is the average, x1 plus x2 over 2, y1 plus y2 over 2. So for this one here, we first have to identify our 2 points. So point 1, we'll call it negative 4, 3. And point 2, negative 1, negative 2. All right, so our midpoint, I'm abbreviating that MP, would be equal to negative 4 plus negative 1 over 2, 3 plus negative 2 over 2. So negative 4 plus a negative 1 is negative 5 halves. 3 plus a negative 2 is 1. So 1/2. So there's our midpoint. So our midpoint, so negative 5 up. Notice it said invalid notation. I forgot to put it in parentheses. Now, negative 5 halves, comma, fraction 1/2. And there we go. And then the last question is another midpoint question. So we'll do the same type of example of the calculation here. So my first point is the point what? 0, negative 3. And my second point is the point 3, comma 2. So my midpoint is the average. So 0 plus 3 over 2 and negative 3 plus 2 all over 2. So I get 3 halves, comma, negative 3 plus 2 is negative 1, comma, negative 1/2. So again, just be sure you put it in coordinate point. You got to put it in parentheses and then 3 halves. So use the fraction tool. 3 halves, comma, negative 1/2. Close the parentheses, check your work real quick, and there we go. And that's the last question. So read through this, listen to the, my comments as I work through the problems. If you have any questions, please ask. All right. Thank you very much.